Of course, we can open the Materia Medica to read about the remedies. In this case, this is Fatok's Materia Medica, but there's dozens and dozens of Materia Medica that we can switch from one to another. So here's Morrison's desktop guide, what he says about belladonna. But often what's more interesting is actually comparing remedies with one another. One of the most interesting ways I find of doing that is with the concept graph. We can put in a variety of different Solanaceae and then see how they appear differently in the repertory. So, stramonium, belladonna, capsicum, dulcamara, tabacum. Now, what this graph is showing us is how many rubrics each of the remedies had for the sections. So you can see at the beginning, stramonium has more symptoms in the mind section than belladonna, capsicum, dulcamara, and tabacum. That probably means that it has a more natural expression through the mind than a remedy like dulcamara. The dulcamara won't tend to manifest its problems through emotional symptoms. On the other hand, you can see under ears, capsicum is much stronger than the other Solanaceae. Now the line, the horizontal line, that we know what an average remedy in the repertory, how many times it has symptoms in vertigo and in head and all. So if a remedy's right on the line, doesn't have anything unusual for that section. If it goes up, it has more than was expected, and if it goes below the line, it has less than was expected. Look at urethra, that huge red bar for capsicum. Now, if you had a case that you thought needed a Solanaceae, and you were a little torn between which one to give, you can see that capsicum has a much more natural expression through the urethra than the other remedies do, and it might lead you to prescribe it. But beyond just looking at the sections, you can also look at other aspects of the remedies. For example, we could look at the types of pain that the remedies have. Now you see under unbearable, stramonium is much stronger than the other remedies. And you can see dulcamara doesn't really have unbearable pain. On the other hand, look at the burning in capsicum, much stronger than any other remedy. Now, how about the situation where we're not really sure about the features of a family, and we'd like to see if there's some way of learning about it through the repertory? One way we can do that is by doing a search and seeing where the most important remedies of the family appear in the same rubrics. In this case, let's find all the rubrics that include natrum mur, natrum carb, and natrum sulf. So we say that all three should be found in the rubric. And let's not include rubrics that are huge, just ones that have 50 or fewer remedies in them. 50 or fewer. So then we say search. And now it's run through the repertory, and it's found 226 rubrics that have all three of those remedies and that have fewer than 50 remedies in total. Now we want to collect them, and let's graph the results and just show those natrums. Now we can, you can see the first rubric has 38 remedies, the next 48, the next 30. It'd be interesting to have the ones first that have the smallest number of remedies, in other words, the highest proportion of natrums. Now what we see is that very first rubric, diarrhea after farinaceous food. Look at that. Two of our natrums are in bold italics, and 3 out of the 4 remedies are natrums. That's a pretty good indication that this could be a symptom that might be true for any of the natrums. And then you can see palpitations from noise. 4 out of the 6 remedies are natrums. And then if you go down farther, vesicles around the mouth. 5 out of 13 of the remedies in that rubric are natrums. Or weakness in the ankles of children. 5 of the 4, a third of the remedies are natrums. So you can go through, you can do searches like this on families and start to develop an idea of what features are kind of keynotes of the family. So if you hear about someone having diarrhea from farinaceous food, it's reasonable for you to think that might be a natrum. There's another way of getting information about families. This search, you select the family that you're interested in. In this case, I don't know very much about bacteria. We call the bacteria nosodes in homeopathy, but really they're bacteria. And it'd be interesting to know or virus. It'd be interesting to know if there's a similarity between the bacteria. So we just click on prokaryotes, which is bacteria, and say search. What this search does is it puts those rubrics first that have the highest percentage of the family in them. So in this case, if we look at the remedies, you can see that in herpetic eruptions, ringworm, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 out of the 7 remedies are bacteria. In fibrositis, all of them are, and also in the next fibrositis. And then you can see, so all of these rubrics have a very high percentage of bacteria. So if we just read the list, fibrositis, inflammation, paniculitis, ringworm. Now, does it make sense that we're thinking about, could this match the kingdom? Do bacteria have something to do with inflammation? Itis? Inflammation? Absolutely. And then ringworm? Herpetic eruptions? Problems after vaccination? More inflammation? Very interesting. So this actually makes sense. And then see serrated teeth. So I think of serrated teeth connected with syphilinum, but it could be that serrated teeth is just an example of what a bacterial symptom. So when I hear that, perhaps I should just be thinking about bacteria. The same way, if you hear about someone who doesn't like closed things around the neck, you really should think snakes, not lachesis. This kind of search is a wonderful way to start thinking about what might be the common features of a family you know nothing about. I hope you found that inspiring. And if so, you're in the company of the world's greatest homeopaths who use our programs every day, and many of whom are on our design team. See what these teachers have to say about the programs.